we're going to hear from our educational presenter today to share another topic in our Speechcraft series. Your speech is written, but you wonder if it could be more impactful. What can you do to make it more memorable? In today's presentation, Bev Ward will be providing you some tips on how to use word choices to improve the effectiveness of your presentation. This will supplement what is being learned in the Speechcraft manual material right now. Bev has been a member of her club since 1993, and she has delivered many speeches since joining Toastmasters and is a big fan of the power of big three: gestures, vocal variety, and word choices. And Bev has asked for the following timing lights, Anisha: the green light at 3 minutes, the yellow at 4, and the red light at 5 minutes. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Bev Ward, who will give you some ideas on how to incorporate powerful word choices into your presentations. Unmute yourself, please, Bev.
Can't hear my words without that. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Friends, did you talk to your friends about the weather we had last week? Did you say we had snow? Or maybe you said we had a storm? Or did you say we were buried by a blinding blizzard? I think that number 3 would be the better choice of words. And when you're saying this, don't forget to throw in some appropriate vocal variety and some gestures. In order to avoid confusion when you talk, make sure that the words you use are appropriate. Make sure that you're not using big words that can be confusing to people, because people often think that using big words makes them sound smarter. But plain language really can be where it's at. And this applies whether you're giving a speech or whether you're talking in a meeting. Words wield a powerful impact. Our speeches and our meetings and reports and other oral communications. To pack the strongest punch, use words that are vivid. Use descriptions to make a point that clearly illustrate your image, your words to the audience. Some words are vague. For example, when giving an evaluation, saying, "I liked your speech, it was good," isn't really that descriptive. But if you say, "I found that your vivid descriptions of the landscape made me feel like I was on vacation with you," really helps to better illustrate what you mean when you're talking to the speaker. You should also consider your audience. If you're speaking to a professional group that you belong to, or if you're speaking to your workmates, then it's okay to use jargon and some of those internal words that only they or that group would understand. But if you're speaking to an unknown group or a mixed group, then you need to be really careful to pick words that don't exclude anyone, words that everyone in the audience will understand. Once you've written your speech, review it and see if you can find any opportunities to punch it up a bit, to use some power words. For example, if you're telling us how you wanted ice cream from the Milky Way, you could say, "I'm craving a Milky Way ice cream cone." Or if you say something is boring, hopefully not you, you could say, "It was mind-numbing." What about if you want to say the word loud? What would be a better word to say instead of loud? How about it was ear-splitting or it was deafening? Think of other words that better describe what you're talking about. Words that you want to avoid are those crutch words, those fillers, things like, you know. In order to do that, first of all, embrace the pause. Don't worry about a couple of seconds of dead airspace. Make sure that you get comfortable with that. Another thing to do would be to slow down. When you talk really fast, your brain doesn't have time to catch up with what your mouth's saying. And then it comes to a point where you don't know what to say next. So you say something like, and so. And if you know your point, then you'll know what comes next, and you won't resort to saying filler words. And practice. Again, practicing will help you know what comes next. And when you're going to practice you in Toastmasters meetings, practice in prepared speeches, practice at work, practice in the community, practice at home. Expand your word choices, and ultimately you'll improve your messages. Be bold in your choices. Remember, it didn't just snow. We were blind, we were covered. We had a blinding blizzard last week, and we were buried by it. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.